Oh, she's so pregnant. It's crazy. You big girl. Okay. Back up. There you go. She is like one of those horses though, so that's like really awesome. Makes it a lot easier to clean her stall. She doesn't waste as much bedding. Bailey. Lost ya. Hey guys. It is a disturbingly almost 50-degree day out. Wasted Wednesday, back when I was more in my drinking era, I would have been thrilled that I could have dressed up however I wanted in order to go out tonight. I think I might painfully have to wash this horse's feather after this. It's not doing well. My farrier is coming out Black Friday, which when I remembered it really well because I told a really bad joke about having a deal on Black Friday. However, I am trying to come up with what kind of deal I will have on my page for Black Friday. Maybe since it will be like 5 years on there, I should take the $5 off. Month subscription for $2. I haven't decided. You guys will have to tell me in the comments. Oopsie daisy. What is everybody's plans for Thanksgiving? I'm hosting. So of course I'm gonna have to clean the house like a mad woman after this. Pick up some final details, shopping wise. Like immediately after chores, I'm headed up to go shopping for some final details. I'm also thinking about finding an air fryer. I've never had one, never thought about getting behind one. However, saving on oven space, so I can do that for you, dear. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Well, don't blame you. It's not my favorite holiday. I'm not much of an eater. Which is weird because I kind of am a foodie, just not much of an eater. So like, I like really good food. I'm just not gonna eat like a lot. Thank you. The hat is a pro-choice hat. There's actually a boot barn kind of up where I'm going today. I really should see if they would fix it up. I know I did with, I got a little stiffer than it was, using alcohol and stroking it. So it was like, I was able to recover it a little bit, but I still could have used it improving a lot more. I do not eat sweets in the morning. Why would you start your day off like that? Okay. She's just eating hay. I'm gonna just clean up those. I'll give her some alfalfa to hold it over. There's the water. So do. Good morning. I don't. She's just out of hay in the hay net. I'm not out of hay. Look at that big old belly. see, 11 months will be March. So she's getting up there in her pregnancy. I think we're yeah, we're definitely well over 6 months. So. Forgot because we gave you a shot. I really hate seeing all that dirt in there. There. I'm sort of a paranoid sweeper, actually. I really like things looking cleaned up. But all right, let's grab Bailey Bales, who's a month behind on number 2 on her daughter's pregnancy. She's not as pregnant, but she's had more babies in the past, which makes it so that way her belly sort of dropped down a little faster than others. They just don't bounce back like they used to, right? Love done. Okay. Good morning, guys. Yes, there's actually both mares are pregnant, and then the next one I'll do is the stud. It's also winter. It's a good time to be fat and happy. About as wide as a whale, though. Really hoping that they were going to be clean enough, but they honestly came in a little earlier because of the weather change last night. I hate warm winters. It really sucks because it's raining outside, so I can't like turn the horses out in the pasture right now. They gotta stay in, so that way they don't get covered in scratches more. Which I have to look at one of my horses. Legs conditions, not good. I probably should just oil in general, everyone, which is not a fun task. It is a good task to do when it's this warm out though, because oil at 50 degrees is not nearly as uncomfortable as oil at 30 degrees. So, I'm not sure why it does that on occasion. How's everybody's day going? Okay, you're just going. Anybody got Thanksgiving plans if you're from America? I feel like a complete dork because I'm going to have to go grocery shopping today for dinner tomorrow. I kind of feel like that's like the ultimate fail. but that's okay. We will make do. Well, no, the food didn't go bad. So. This is bedding. Hay, I actually feed them in the nets, because that way they can't waste as much of it. It is a little bit of a risk then, that I'm always a little afraid of them getting their feet caught, especially when they have shoes on. But it's just sort of a risk that I'm willing to take because of the fact that alternatively they waste so much hay that I can't really keep up with it. So they get a lot better nutrients when they're not eating it. It's also really good for them for having constant hay supply for the day. See, if they just have it on the ground and they like waste it, then they can't eat it. But also they stop eating throughout the night when they've wasted it or they finished it, eating it as fast as they can. And unlike cows, they won't process it again. So you know how cows and they regurgitate and chew on it again. Horses don't, and they're actually really not that great about getting food. So they're not really good about getting the nutrients out of the hay. So it's handier if they can be slowed down, fed all day instead. Wow, this thing is getting its mood of its own. I'm doing a bunch of appetizers, so like wings instead of a fucking turkey. Here come all the negative trolls. I am from Vermont. It is almost 50 degrees out and disgusting outside. I would do anything for it to be 5 degrees out right now. That way the ground would be cold enough I could turn out horses. And they could enjoy being outside. Things would be freezing. Instead, it is raining, destroying the ground. I know that we are technically in a drought this summer, so I know that there's a lot of people who are excited about the fact that it is raining. I am not one of those people. I don't like that. Oh God. Oh God. Okay, so. Although all comments are appreciated and interaction, because that's just going to help with the platform, at the same time I don't understand the spreading hate situation. So. This out. What's everybody doing today? Is it raining or is it snowing? What's my job? Only farmer. Only fans girl for my private Clydesdale farm in Vermont. Too, if you actually want to get to know me, but that's my main one. This is too warm for my comfort level. It's not going to That's why I even bother. I like giving them a little alfalfa throughout the day. This mare, the one I just did, are pregnant with the one that I'm about to do. And I don't think it hurts them to have a little bit of love in their tummy while they're dealing with this. This is an exciting time of year. My babies are growing and stuff. Man, I really do miss actually getting to work said horses. I can't when the ground's like this gross and there's just like not a lot to do with them. But I have 9 horses on this property, 1 at a separate co-op barn. Actually, and then 2 at 2 separate co-op barns. This one and the one I just did are pregnant. So be sure to follow for the adorableness of that. I'm very excited. Hopefully, we'll see where we're at. Come spring, I'm hoping for 2 females. I've always loved mares. They've always been more of my thing. Or I say that and then I enjoy every gelding I've ever handled, but mares, you can breed, and mares make more babies, more horses. So. And let's pull out the stud. That makes it so you can make even more. My stud's name is Striker. He is one of my favorite horses on the property. He is a very good boy. Speaking of simps, this boy is one. He is a doll. I would say that he's a little shorter than I would like him to be. That's not his fault. And he has a lot of traits to make up for it. Plus, a lot of people can't tell how he's like about a hand shorter than I would like him to be. Go look up my video about how to measure horses if you don't know what that is. He is a hand shorter than I'd like him to be. But with the way he carries himself, you can hardly ever tell. So. Let's just do the good old toss out with yours. Wow, your stall is pretty fucking clean. Should have started here. I don't feel like running back and forth to drop off the wheelbarrow and come back. I'm just gonna put the dirty stuff right outside the door and I'll come back. So Striker is 3 years of age. He was supposed to have a foal last year out of Raina, but she lost the pregnancy and it absolutely sucked. And then, so that's going to be like different things. If that sort of shit happens, that will definitely give you guys something to follow along. So now I just don't really count that he's got 2 mares pregnant, and we'll see how it goes. Breeding is not for the faint of heart, and it used to be a really good way to make money. It is not now. With the cost it takes to feed things today and keep them going. You really aren't going to make a lot of money on it, so you got to just enjoy the drama, I guess. It's really what it is. So, and the hope and the prayer when it works out, that's the other thing. I think the reason he's been this clean is because I've actually been adding a lot of bedding. I'm trying to empty out right behind this wall. I'm trying to empty out the sawdust, that way I can move. There's stacks of shoes there that they wear all summer, but they don't wear them all winter. And now they're all in my fucking way. So I'm trying to put a new area for them to be. It has been convenient sometimes to be able to have bedding in this barn, but in all honesty, I always have to be able to get a wheelbarrow back and forth anyways, for the bedding or for the dirty stuff, so I can always get a wheelbarrow back and forth with fresh bedding too from the other barn. It's never been enough to like last very long, so it's like a weird storage spot. And what would be a lot better is if I'm just not having to move a bunch of shoes all over the place and having them in the way. So I'm excited to get them a little more organized. There's summer organization and there's winter. I know, like, if you're like from Florida and stuff, you guys won't understand this, but up in New England, it is crazy how much, like, I have summer clothing and I have winter clothing, and there are some times where I'm like, I'm sorry, a bikini? The fuck when? So, there's quite a few times where I will have to, like, totally change out the clothing that's in my drawers because it just doesn't make sense. However, then when it gets to be 54 degrees, it's like actually really warm. You're in Florida right now. Exactly. So you guys don't really know what it's like to have, I mean, you gotta have some thicker clothes or just wear 2 sweatshirts and call it good. I don't know what you do. But I come down in March and see it, and it's always been, apparently, like, the locals say it's been cold when I've been down there. It must be I bring it. You don't know you slip and shit. It's not really that dirty this time. I might be able to get it in. will make it heavier than hell, but it'd be worth it. 1 wheelbarrow load, super heavy, versus 2, right? 2 trips are for pussies. Am I the only one who uses that? I got 9 horses on the property. I own 11 total and 2 are pregnant. Yesterday my mom was actually asked that same exact question, and I was telling her, and she goes, that doesn't seem possible. How are there not more? She was never really into the horse thing. As most people, she was raised with some. But she gets overwhelmed with how many horses I have, and she thinks it's even more than it is. It's not really that bad. I don't know, who thinks 11 horses is the normal amount of horses? I think it's an okay number. I do think I somewhat enjoyed more life when I had under 10, but that doesn't have as many possibilities or as age ranges, because I have a weanling, 2 2-year-olds, 3 3-year-olds. Actually, my dad just got me this belt, and I'm very excited about it. I did make a video. You guys are going to have to tell me. I know I'm usually in the end of the trail belt, but I'm very excited about this one. What was I going to say? 3 3-year-olds now, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, and 2 8-year-olds. I did it. I kept track. I think probably when I'm not able to list them all, I can say most of their fathers. I'm not really great about the mother side, which I always find ironic in the horse world. We care a lot about the sire side, when literally it's been proven that the mare's bringing a little bit more to the table than the stud is. They just aren't quite, they're the ones who are going to show the character. It sticks. It's kind of like the first 2 stalls I cleaned is a mother-daughter duo. And the daughter keeps the stall as organized as the mother does. It's not like this stall. And it's funny because it's a trait she learned when she lived in the stall with her mother. So moms, the mares will pass off traits that might not even be anything more than personality. I am up in Vermont, and it is 50 fucking degrees out, which is not normal, especially because when I was in Topsail, Massachusetts, showing horses, we were bundling up ready for winter. So I'm very frustrated. I love the cold, and this isn't. Striker, knock it off. Almost done your stall, and then you can come back and I'll get you some alfalfa. Gotta clean out from here. Do. Literally do. So, You know, actually, I was planning on attempting to make a video on how to braid. It's called mane roll, but you can also call it braiding. The horse's manes. And I think I'm gonna go and attempt that on Striker because Striker kind of has the thickest hair and it's like really handy for that. However, I will have to take the cowboy hat off in order to do it. Maybe I'll put it on under. Won't be a very cute look. We'll see. Striker man. Yes, pull him up a little bit. Right? You gotta come up here. Oh, baby. Oh, so cute. Okay. It can probably fit. Let's finish that maybe. No, let's You're gonna be too tall for me to do that without that. Okay, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna get this poop picked up off the floor and put in the wheelbarrow, and then in the other barn, I'm going to have to grab. Welcome everybody, small only farmer up in Vermont. I'm gonna end up doing a video about how to braid this horse's mane. However, we got a little cuckoo order of things. I always have a saying that men don't forget, if she wants it to fit, it will. Because I will figure out how to get all of this to go into this wheelbarrow. It's all about aiming and then a little bit about pressure. Now that it's all flat surface again, we can get the more loaded up. Don't fall. I'm in Vermont. I don't like to say about where. Vermont is so small we don't even hit the million people mark, so we keep it simple. Thank you guys for all the love. I maybe wouldn't have had to double dip if I had just done this in the first place, but that's okay. Sometimes you make life more difficult. Perfect. I'm just going to sweep this up, and then I'm going to end up I'm going to try to get a camera. I have a GoPro, and we're going to show about how to braid, mane roll this horse's mane. So let's see. Once I got it swept up. I know you guys know that I have a leaf blower. Sometimes I blow it, sometimes I just do it by hand. The blowing really gets like the details, which are nicer, but the battery constantly be dying, so sometimes it's just about getting it done, right? All right. So, to braid this mane, right? I'm gonna see about a brush. What we're gonna do to start is figure out my GoPro. So when I braid their manes for a show, you use one of these, which is called a mane roll. That was not how I was not planning on doing that. Usually it goes around your head. It is a long, like over 6 feet in both directions, so 12 feet total, piece of fabric. I went with our tulle color. You can get them as solo colors, but I went with my dual colored one to try to show this how-to video. I'm not sure it's gonna be right of the camera, which means you guys get to see my messy hair. So let's go. All right, I look like I'm gonna go mining, but I gotta adjust some stuff. What I'm hoping is that you guys will end up enjoying a video of how to mane roll. I know this won't be for everybody, but there we go. Now, what I'm going to do is capture the top, make sure that you can see the front. Okay, and then we're gonna watch that video and see. No, okay. Yeah, okay. This is not gonna be too bad. Basically, I always was trying to find videos and information on how to show draft horses. So I figured what better way, you know, if you find a field that needs to be filled, fill it. If you find a void in life, fill it. So hopefully, here we go. We're gonna look like a complete dork, but okay. So start up, you're gonna brush all the hair out. Striker has an extremely thick mane, to the point that there's actually 2 parts to it, and we're going to be braiding 1 part. When you do what's called a half in, which is the newest style, the more popular style of braiding a draft horse right now, is that you braid half of their hair in. So as you can see, there's almost a complete line down. I tend to leave one side a little longer for braiding purposes, and this side I keep trimmed almost hunter size. It's obviously a little outgrown right now as it is November, but then let's get this put on. So you saw the line where there's some length and some not. You can really tell now when I pull it over that it is longer in this order. So, yeah, Striker, you're not being helpful. It does like to fall dual. He's basically, I think there's even a term for it when they have so much. All right, keep your thing handy, and here is the actual mane roll. I'm going to go with purple on this side. One thing I find really convenient is right towards the end, if you take it and put it in a half slip knot. Don't tie it into a knot, that's going to frustrate you later, but basically you're able to have a little bit of weight on that. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Just a little half in, so that way you have a little weight to toss back and forth. It doesn't matter what side you start what color on. However, in details, maybe if you're doing a team, it's always nice to actually always repeat having the same hair or having the same color start. So you start off with a pinch of hair, and hopefully this is going to be at a good angle. And you lay this even. You grab your next pinch of hair, which is going to just be the other half, just on this half, and you twist the two. Keep that pressure down. I pull this hair out of the way, and then you will cross over your strands of cloth. You grab the next pinch, and you keep these rather small, so that way you don't build up a lot. You're going to want to tighten, tug, tug, and then twist again. Laying it down and flop your two. So you're essentially twisting cloth and hair, cloth and hair, cloth and hair, and trying to keep it as tight as possible the entire time. This is not like washed mane or anything, so it's a little dirtier. And then always just be tugging, tugging, tugging straight, and tugging, tugging, tugging to have it tight. You'll come across a lot of problems, like what Striker's giving me right now is he's maybe not being the biggest doll to do this on. A lot of horses will give you some attitude. Obviously, we all remember getting braided as a kid by our parents that we always thought it was too tight. It's not going to kill them. They love showing off, so it's just get over it. Easy. And twist again. He's like, dude, what are we doing? I haven't had to have this in over a month. How are we dealing with this? Another pinch. Tugging straight. Notice they're small. I would probably, if I was in the show ring, I would probably do even smaller pinches of fabric, of hair. But I am just trying to get through this. It's kind of a mess. So maybe I'll do another one of these when it comes summer and you guys can get a better view that we have half of it braided. This is literally straight out of his head. It's not ever been in the mix or anything. That used to confuse me a lot when I was learning or when I was a kid. Pick up the next bunch. Stop, Striker. You can always kind of feel it shifting down into the situation that it's supposed to be. I have since gotten much larger, longer mane rolls. Almost too much, one would say, for a couple of them. But I really liked the extra flare at the bottom. And it's also getting to be very popular to only go with one color, which obviously for learning technicalities would have been really difficult to sort of see what you were doing. However, when you are done, it makes it so the mane is not as easily distinguished as being short or long, and it is much easier to see how it looks. So, you can also always have somebody pull and hold the cloth things, the mane roll itself. It's much easier. You aren't constantly having to check on yourself. However, that does make it so it takes two people to do one mane roll, when you could be having two people do two different mane rolls. So I kind of struggle with the fact it makes it easier. Struggle with the fact that it takes more effort. You know, there's pros and cons to most everything. So right. sometimes you'll have shorter hairs, sometimes they'll be longer, and you keep going down and down. So, although that's sort of it, it's a little sloppy being that it is as dirty as it is. You continue this pattern down the rest of his neck. No mini here, that's for sure. No small amount of hair either. You would want to make sure that your horse's head was tied up high, tight, as you're going to have him showing, so that way he's unable to stretch it out the way Striker here has been doing. So, at the end, you would twist 2 hairs and twist your 2 mane rolls. Okay? And then you would twist these again, the 2 hairs, and twist the fabric. And over to end it in almost its own little rope situation. Then loop around in a 4, Striker, and tie a knot, and you're ready to put on your collars and go into the show ring. So I would be doing the entire thing. It's just, obviously it does take a good amount of time, and for the sake of everyone, I don't think you want to watch me do it. It does end up being about, I don't know, 40 twists. When I'm doing them, it's technically easier on the other side to just do this quick untwisting motion. It's always satisfying to pull them out. I imagine the horses find it even more satisfying. Oh, now he's going to stretch down. Yeah, that feels good. You hate having your hair pulled. It's okay. It always gets tangled up. And like I said, his hair is super dirty. You do want to make sure you wash them the day before and maybe add some texture spray. But there you go, buddy. That's on mane rolling. Right? Okay, so hopefully that will be a fun video, but who knows? Oh shit. So, going to go push this wheelbarrow up, and then we will end up putting the hay in his area. Wait until you see the real one about how to mane roll. You'll see how that came out. I did get this GoPro trying to come up with better footage when I got my YouTube channel. However, I am a cowgirl, not a nerd, and so I'm not that great with technology. But we will see how that comes out. big boy. Big stretch, big boy. All right, thanks guys so much for giving a follow, like, and comments. Thank you to all my OnlyFans who keep me financially able to do this, and enjoy seeing you guys there. I'm going to actually log off for the video of the day and show people why I choose to use hay nets. So thanks for everybody who gives a follow, like, etc., and I will see you guys tomorrow. Yes, on Thanksgiving.